Hi everyone. I'm going to be talking about something completely different because I'm not necessarily in game development. I'm a learning designer by profession, and we tend to use games in education in the university sector. So we're going to be talking about how we create LoFi games at the RMIT College of Business and Law because we need to work with business students. Before that, I'll talk you through a few things. My colleague and I, Jairus, who is not here to present with me today, are really big into sci-fi and anime. And we realize in a lot of the shows that we watch, a lot of things that we use to train the characters, like in Star Trek with the holodeck, or with the Gravity Chamber Dragon Ball Z, to level up the heroes is simulations. However, in business schools, we still rely on old school lectures and reports and very boring things to try and get our students' attention. And doesn't really help in learning, and we are really looking for learning from that standpoint. So we decided to try to create games ourselves. Oops, how did I go back? But the challenges that we face, unfortunately as learning designers, we do not have money. And that's a problem that almost everyone faces. Whilst I come from a programming background and we do come from data engineering backgrounds ourselves, we realized we don't have the massive budget, we don't have the time and the resources to do so. So what we tried to do was something simple. If we can focus on the game mechanics, and if we can focus on the learning, we don't really need to worry about making a high fidelity game at this point in time. We can test these games out. How do we work within our constraint to still get that powerful learning experience we need? And we realize games is that particular way. So introducing the greatest thing since IBM, LoFi games. Kidding, not really. So what is LoFi games? It's an initiative where we use a cost-effective approach to gamification. What we try to use is we really push the boundaries of Excel. Really, that's what we're doing. No VBAs, no macros. What can we do with Excel that can push the boundaries to create some games for our students? Why we choose this approach and why we choose LoFi? It's accessible. We work with academics a lot to get their learning content, and we want to build the games in line with the content. So if we tend to try and spend a lot of resource and money on building broader games, it's harder for us to do. But our idea is that we want to create these prototypes, test their effectiveness, and then come and build bigger games with our game devs at RMIT. So what are our flagship games that we do have, and the two games that we have developed? The first one was the initial start of this entire thing, EcoVest. EcoVest is a game that actually teaches students about sustainable investing, and we try to simulate investing scenarios for our particular students. We really want them to think about not just shareholder value, but this idea that they can actually think about the stakeholder effects, etc. We create different mechanics. So we have company creation, where they actually create their own companies, and that impacts the entire decision making. They have dynamic feedback and leaderboards. That was the first that led to the second one that we're very proud of, Chain Reaction, which is a procurement simulation that we developed over a period of time. We developed this with industry partners, and we used the mechanic at the start of how to create a company. Now, everything is based off the company name. So we set all the events and the scenarios purely based off the company name, right? And it sets the session for the entire game as we play around. Students start off by creating their companies and deciding what they want to prioritize, and that actually impacts all the decisions that are made as they move forward. Everyone actually gets different scenarios, different challenges, etc., and different types of data that gets revealed to them. And we really tried to push the boundaries as we could. As you can see here is an example of a round in a year, because they play in years. They have a random event that shows up, and they have to make the decisions based off that, and they get a bit of feedback. What we're looking at is the learning loop. We want to be able to change the way teaching is done in the classroom and actually embed these simulations in. Where a lecturer introduces new concepts, they connect with them through an industry partner. In this scenario, we had Boeing as an industry partner, and they apply the concepts and they debrief every single time. We as university are outcome focused, and we did see there's a lot of student agency and engagement compared to before. And this is why we love using games in our approaches. We find that students are more attached to their assessments and really want to continue working in that particular way. What are next steps? Well, we're always open to feedback, right? And we want to talk to the game dev community to get a bit of ideas and get a bit more feedback on how can we continue to improve as we move forward. We do that with our game design schools in RMIT, but we are always open to everyone out there. We do have games in the pipeline that we're still going to test out, and we're building a strategic marketing game. If anyone's interested in knowing about how we use gamification in the university sector and learning design, please reach out to me. You can scan the QR code, or you can reach out to me via email. I'm more than happy to chat to anyone. I will be here after as well. You can always come up to chat. Thank you very much.